We came out with our finals yesterday, and we do rely on private polling, public polling, social media analysis, and the like. And we think for the House of Representatives that Democrats will win control of the House, that they will gain somewhere in the neighborhood of mid-30s seats. They need 23 to take control. In the Senate, we still think the Republicans will hang on and maybe add a seat. We've got them adding one, so they would be at 52 instead of their current 51. And of course, the governorships, I think, the Democrats are practically going to clean up in governorships, especially in the Midwest. Oh. Can I add one thing, Tom?
Surely, of course.
There is a small chance, like the chance of pulling an inside straight in poker, which you can do, but which doesn't happen very often. There's an inside straight chance that the Republicans will hold the House, and there's an inside straight chance that Democrats will get 51 seats, which is the minimum they need to control the Senate.
I want to
throw that out there. There you go.
I want to bear down on a couple of states that I happen to know just because my residence better than I do others. One is the House races in Virginia, where you have the Democrats flipping all of what you call their opportunities to flip, and similarly New Jersey, where I think there are 4 currently held by Republicans that you think will flip to the other side. Explain why you see that. What are the odds that the Democrats come up 1 short there, 2 short there, and then, because I'm famous for my complex and compound questions, how about Menendez in New Jersey?
Well, I'll answer the easy part last. You know, I've often thought that Menendez has borrowed a slogan from that great old Louisiana governor's race between the KKK leader David Duke and a very crooked Democratic governor, Edwin Edwards. And Edwards, looking at Duke, said, "Vote for the crook, it's important." And so, in a sense, Menendez, who, let's face it, has had a lot of problems, he is benefiting from the fact that he's running for re-election as a Democrat in a blue state in basically a blue year, and that should help him win. Now, I don't think anybody would be shocked if he were ousted. There are some reasons to do it, but we're betting that he gets reelected. As for the House races, in Virginia, there are actually 4 opportunities for Democrats, and we think they will win 2 to 3. They've got 1 almost in hand. There are 2 others that are at 50-50, so we split it. We figure they'll get 1 of them, and they could easily get the 3rd out of 4. In New Jersey, it's because there is such a strong Democratic sweep in that area, New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania. If you put them together, at a minimum, I think Democrats will get 7 seats, 7 additional seats, and anything else is gravy.
Larry, it's John Harwood. I've been particularly interested in the 7th District of Virginia. That district, of course, where Eric Cantor used to be in the House Republican leadership. He was defeated by Dave Bratt in a primary that was a stunning result nobody expected. And now he's got a tough race with Abigail Spanberger, former CIA agent. What do you see happening in that race? The polling has been pretty close.
Yeah, when Eric Cantor lost that primary, I was actually at a Chicago airport, and I was convinced my computer was malfunctioning with the returns, because, you know, nobody had ever heard of Dave Bratt, and Eric Cantor was on track to be Speaker. And there's a connection, John, because whether they will ever admit it or not, I know personally that some of the Eric Cantor supporters, financial and otherwise, are helping the Democrat Abigail Spanberger. You know, revenge is a dish best served cold. And they're hoping they can provide the margin of victory for Spanberger to defeat Bratt. It would be an odd coalition, but then winning candidates often have odd coalitions.
Larry, it's Michelle here. Good to have you on. That's one of the races I'm most interested in, because when you look at, we were talking last hour about the Democratic Party seems to have really moved very far to the left, and yet you have these races, like you were just talking about, former members of the military, former CIA agent. They're running much more centrist campaigns. When all is said and done, what do you think the message is going to be for the Democrats and from Democratic voters? That they want, you know, the more progressive wing of the party, or do they want more centrist people?
I think the message is going to be, do what we did in 2018, nominate candidates that fit the state and district, because you're absolutely right. In districts that are more middle of the road, more suburban, have voted Republican for Congress in recent history, the Democrats have nominated military veterans and more moderate candidates. That helps them to win. But in very, very liberal places, like that special district in New York that produced a 28-year-old former bartender who's kind of a socialist, they'll take somebody like that. They'll elect somebody like that. So really, you have to nominate candidates to fit the district, or you're not going to win. You won't get a majority.
Let's go to a couple of the governorship races, which you call maybe a Democratic run-the-table kind of scenario. And two stand out to me. One, and they have both been nasty races. One is in Georgia. What do you see happening there? The other is in Florida, where a Republican incumbent may be replaced by the Democratic mayor of Tallahassee.
In Georgia, we think it will go to the runoff. So we were able to whiff there, John, and don't tell me that I don't have that right. So we called it December 4th runoff. We'll see what happens tonight. But in the Florida case, look, if you do the polling averages and if you look at the polls that have been taken, and my God, Florida has had more polls, I think, than any other big state, then Gillum would be favored. Not favored by much, and this is where my Virginia background comes in. Virginia elected the first African-American governor, Douglas Wilder, in 1989, but he was supposed to, according to the polls, win by a massive majority. It was so close, we had 6 weeks of recounts, and he ended up winning by 5,000 votes out of almost 2 million cast. There's a little something called the Wilder effect. Some people call it the Bradley effect, after former Los Angeles Mayor Tom Bradley, in which people, white people, tell pollsters what they think is the socially acceptable response. I'm voting for the African-American candidate. Then they go into the polling places, they vote for the white Republican, and often come out and tell the exit pollsters that they have just voted for the African-American candidate. So I don't think you can trust polling in a case like that. We'll see tonight.